Have you ever watched a guy laugh with his friends, go to work every day, or seem like he's got it all under control, but deep down you can tell something's off? He's not weak, he's not cold, he's just carrying a weight, nobody seems to notice. That's what I mean. He stays quiet, not because he doesn't feel pain, but because when he tries to speak, the world tells him to toughen up, keep it inside, be a man, you know how it works. So he buries it, keeps moving, and hopes someone someday will see what he's holding without him having to say a word. Welcome, I am Anastasia and this is Matryoshka Tips channel. And this video is for you, the men who feel invisible, when the hurt piles up. And today I want to discuss why men stop talking about their pain. But before we go deeper, just a little reminder, guys. On my Patreon, I share exclusive content about Eastern European women, cultural differences, and what really matters if you want to date them online or connect more seriously. And also, I give one-on-one advice, so if you need help with your profile, texting, first calls, or just want personalized guidance, I'm there to chat and support you. The link is in the description. Now, men are raised to believe showing pain is a weakness. From a young age, you're taught to be the strong one, the guy who fixes problems, who doesn't cry, who handles everything. You know that, right? But pain doesn't vanish just because you don't say it out loud. It sits there heavy, growing with every moment you feel ignored. Maybe it's stress from work, fight with someone close, or just feeling alone in a crowd. And you want to share it, but the last time you tried, someone brushed it off, like, get over it, they said. Or worse, they didn't say anything at all. So you learn to lock it away. You go to work, smile, make jokes, act normal. But inside it's exhausting. Of course, a man's going to stop talking if no one hears him. And that's understandable behavior. What happens when you keep it all inside? It doesn't just disappear, guys. It builds up. You might feel it in small ways, maybe. Snapping over little things, losing focus, or just feeling tired all the time. And you're not failing, you're human, but society doesn't make it easy, right? It says men should be rocks, never cracking, always steady, and that's a lot to carry. You're expected to lead, to provide, to protect, all while pretending that nothing hurts. But pain is real. It's not just sadness, it's frustration, worry, or even anger at yourself for feeling stuck. And when you don't have a safe place to let it out, silence feels like the only option. What should a man do when, he feels this way? Well, keep pretending everything's fine. No, it's okay to protect yourself by staying quiet until you find someone who listens. So why this silence happens? It's not just you, it's the world around you. People expect men to solve their own problems. If you open up, you risk judgment. Maybe someone told you your feelings don't matter, or you saw another guy get mocked for being vulnerable. Well, it's normal, right? You choose to stay quiet to avoid that sting. It's not about being cold or weak. It's about surviving in a world that doesn't always care. And that's okay. You're doing what you need to keep going. And of course, a man's going to hold back if sharing leads to nothing but criticism. That's a natural response. And men hide their pain even more when they think women might make fun of them, for showing it. And not every woman, of course, but enough talk in group chats like he got upset over breakups, so we grow up. So before he even says he's hurting, he imagines the eye rolls or whispers. So why take the chance when staying quiet feels safer than being mocked? And of course he keeps it inside. And here's the thing. Some women grew up believing men must always be tough. So when a guy shows pain, it feels wrong to them. It's like he's breaking a rule. So he learns to stay silent to avoid giving them something to judge. Now think about what that silence does over time. It's like carrying a bag that gets heavier every day. You keep adding to it stress from a bad day, a relationship that's not working, or just feeling like nobody gets you. You don't want to burden others, so you carry it alone, but that weight changes you. Maybe you pull back from people, stop reaching out, or feel distant even in a room full of friends. And you're not broken for this, you're just tired. You want someone to notice without you having to wave, a flag. So what should a man do when the load feels too heavy? Take a small step, maybe write it down or talk to one trusted person. Silence is okay, but you don't have to carry it forever. And let's be clear here, staying quiet isn't a sign you don't feel. It's a sign you feel too much and you've learned it's safer to keep it inside. Society doesn't make it easy for men to open up. You're told to be the provider, the leader, the one who doesn't flinch, but that doesn't mean your pain isn't real. It shows up in quiet moments when you're alone at night, when you can't sleep, when you wonder if anyone sees you for, more than what you do. And you don't need to explain it to prove it's there. Your silence is proof enough. And of course, a man's going to stop sharing it, if it feels like shouting into the wind. That's understandable. So what happens when you keep carrying this alone? Well, it can wear you down. You might feel less energy, less hope. You might start to think it's just you, that no one else feels this way, but that's not true. So many men go through this feeling, trapped by the expectation to be strong all the time. And you're not alone in that struggle. The strongest men often break quietly, not because they are weak, but because they've been carrying too much for too long. So what should a man do when he feels like this? Well, look for small ways to let the weight off. Maybe a walk, hobby, or even a private moment to admit that it hurts. And here is something to hold on to. Your pain matters. It doesn't make you less of a man. It makes you real. You don't have to scream it for it to be valid. Sometimes you just need one person who gets it, who sees the weight without you pointing it out. That could be a friend, maybe a family member, or even a stranger who listens. But until you find them, it's okay to keep it inside. You're protecting your heart in a world that doesn't always understand. And of course, a man's going to stay silent if he's learned it's the safest way. That's actually a smart choice, not a failure. So let's talk about how can we spot that pain is getting too heavy. If you're always tired, that's a sign. If small things make you angry or sad more than they should, well, that's another one. If you feel like you're just going through the motions, well, notice it. These are like clues your silence is holding too much. You don't have to stay there. You don't need to spill everything to everyone, but you can you can start small. Maybe write down what's on your mind. Maybe tell one person, a piece of it. What should a man do when he sees these signs? Well, give himself permission to feel it, even if he doesn't say it out loud yet. And you don't have to stay stuck in silence. It's not about suddenly sharing everything. It's about finding balance. You deserve people who listen, who see you for more than what you provide or how strong you seem. And they are out there, believe me. It might take time, but you will find them. And until then, protect your peace. Silence is your shield, and that's okay. And of course, a man's going to keep quiet if the world doesn't make, space for his pain. That's a natural way to cope. And here is the truth. You're not weak for feeling this way. You're strong for getting through it every day. Because carrying pain in silence takes courage, especially when you're told it's not okay to show it. But you don't have to carry it alone forever. There are people who will listen, who will see you without judgment. You just haven't found them yet. What should a man do while he waits? Well, keep going, but also take care of himself. You're worth that. Now let me share some practical steps for handling this. First, notice when the weight feels too much. You don't have to act fine all the time. Take a moment to breathe, to think about what's heavy. Next, find one safe person to share even a small part with. It doesn't have to be deep, just honest. Next, do something for you. Go for a run, read something new, spend time on what lifts you up, because life is more than carrying pain alone. So what can you do to feel lighter? Well, start with small moments of care for yourself. And in the end, when a man stops talking about his pain, this is why. It's not because he doesn't feel it. It's because no one listens when he does. And he's told to be strong, to keep it inside, so he smiles and moves on. But he's tired and he just wants someone to see it. And the strongest men break quietly, and that's okay. You're resilient for carrying on, Of course, you're going to stay silent and keep going. It's the right thing for now. Well, I hope that you enjoyed my video, guys. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.